Hey! I just got the kick in the butt to come up and get started. Hey everybody, I'm Alex Simons. I'm one of the corporate vice presidents for the Entra suite of products at Microsoft. Thank you for coming to our breakout session. Thank you for coming to Ignite. I hope you're finding it useful and exciting. I know this is my 10th Ignite. I can't remember one where we had more cool innovation to share with you all at one time. Like watching the keynote this morning, I was just like, oh my gosh, there is so much neat new news at Ignite. It had me kind of reflecting. I'm a pretty old guy. I joined Microsoft in 1992. This is my badge picture. I wasn't old enough to drink yet. I came to Microsoft because I was just so excited about Excel 2.2 for the Mac. I was like, oh my gosh, I got to take a finance class, and we ran the whole finance class out of Excel in the Mac, and I was like, I have got to go work at that company. The graphical user interface to me was just so exciting, such an interesting wave of innovation. So I got to Microsoft just in time for the PC revolution. Windows 3 had just shipped when I got there, and then we got to Windows 95. That was amazing. Shortly after that, and I'm looking a little bit older here, the internet came along. I remember just being like, oh wow, the first time I had a browser and could go surf around and find sites, I just thought that was amazing. Then the day Steve Jobs pulled the iPhone out of his pocket, I got to be honest, I almost cried because it was so beautiful. I mean, what an amazing piece of software with some hardware wrapped around it. I was like really excited about that kind of wave of innovation as well. And then of course, a little older, this looks like the first time maybe I could afford a good picture for my card key. The cloud revolution, where we shifted a whole bunch of workloads into a much more flexible cloud infrastructure. Another big wave of innovation. But out of all of these, I think the wave that we're about to experience, the AI wave, is probably the most exciting. In fact, I might say it's even more exciting than I was excited about Excel 2.2. The potential, I think, of reinventing the way our organizations work, reinventing and rewiring the world economy. Like I spend almost every day now with one of my various AI companions, either Copilot at work or Claude at home or a bunch of the different things I'm experimenting with and writing my own agents. And I have to say, it is just unbelievable. It feels like having superpowers. However, I know that a lot of customers I talk to in a lot of organizations have a lot of questions. How are we going to harness this power, but do so in a way that's super secure, that we don't have to worry about it? So let's go ahead. We've got some really neat video here of things that customers have told us they're wondering about for their AI agents.
As agent adoption moves faster, we want to be able to ensure that every agent can be verified, governed, and decommissioned like any other entity within our ecosystem.
When Microsoft kind of introduced ENTRA Agent ID, suddenly with a few clicks, you could just see the agents that you probably didn't know about.
We can't give all the employees access to agents until you can inventory and account for the agentic identities. Not having that visibility will magnify the blind spots and drive the risk upward.
You can only protect what you are aware of.
The only thing I do know is who has actually created that particular agent and the name, but I don't have any insights in what it is actually doing in my environment. It's like a black box for me.
And it's crazy to think that, by 2028, there potentially could be at least 1.3 billion agents out there.
You might be suddenly hit with a wave of interested employee now agent developers who want to improve their workflow, and suddenly they're producing probably really great things, but it's at such a volume that the processes were only designed for this much, right? And suddenly they're getting hit with volume this big.
With the agents, we will have a much higher turnaround time between commissioning a new agent, decommissioning it, and all this has to be in your lifecycle management.
It will be hard to find maybe a new model for detecting unusual behavior.
But I've not seen an agent yet who is able to tell me for how long it does need to exist and what kind of permissions or what's it actually doing.
So the arrival of AI agents or testing systems, in a way, organizations really didn't anticipate. Every agent needs to be treated as a first-class identity with clear ownership. permissions, and auditability.
I mean, there's so many identity principles that need to apply to agents, right? Like an agent needs an owner, but also probably needs a deputy owner in case the primary owner leaves the business or is off sick.
To make sure that, for example, agents get particular permissions and also the right scope of privileges.
We definitely need some kind of trusted relation with all of the agents we are interacting with.
And also, not running into same challenges that we have over years with application and workload identities.
I think it's super important for every company at the moment to not just look at what is happening, but actually participate, because your employees, they already are using this technology. So get on board.
Hey, Alex. Let's show them what we've got.
So every CISO I talked to over the last year kind of has the same set of concerns. First of all, how the heck am I going to get observability or visibility over this giant sprawl of agents that I think is coming? Right? How am I going to know which set of things they have permissions to access? How am I going to control that access? How am I going to track all the things that they're doing? Can I trace and audit those actions? And can I protect my organization if an agent goes rogue or gets compromised? Just all kinds of questions about those. And you saw, hopefully, Charles Lamanna's keynote this morning with A365, Agent 365. That's our all-up solution for how to help you manage agents. What I want to tell you about today is the ENTRA ID portion of that solution. Now, the thing we're doing here is we're working really hard to make sure that you don't have to learn new tools and new processes to manage agents, that you can take the existing things like ENTRA that you already know, that you already have expertise in, and you can extend them now to manage agents as well. So what we've done is we've given you an entirely new type of identity inside of ENTRA, an Agent ID. So now you can use ENTRA for users, apps, devices, but you also have a full Agent ID. That ID lives in the directory. You can manage it just like any other identity that you would manage in ENTRA. And then we have plumbed that through the entire stack. So in the same way today you can control access for users and workload identities to all of your various workloads, you can now do the same thing with ENTRA. And today I'm happy to let you know that the public preview for all of these capabilities, we've refreshed the whole public preview since build. All of these capabilities are now available. The platforms are already up and running in your tenants, and all of the premium features you can acquire through the Frontier program with Agent 365. So let me tell you some of the story here. So the first thing we did was we made sure that all of the Microsoft Builder platforms, so things like Microsoft Foundry, Copilot Studio, Security Copilot, Microsoft Teams, but even LinkedIn, come with agents. When an agent gets built using those builders, it automatically has an Agent ID attached. It's like a VIN in a car coming out of the factory, right? Like every one of them always has one. And now you have a unique identifier you can use to track that agent through its whole life cycle, to see it through all of your log files, to check what the heck is going on with it. And then we have plumbed that through the whole ENTRA stack. So you get the full authentication, authorization, governance, identity protection, and network security value that you're expecting from ENTRA. You now get that for agent IDs just like you would for users or for applications. In addition, though, we think there's one key challenge that's harder with agents than the rest, which is discovery. How do I find out where all of the agents in my company are, not just the ones that have ENTRA IDs, but all of my agents, and make sure that I have visibility of them across my whole estate, and that I can track them and see what the heck they're doing. So we've added in a whole new layer to ENTRA that we call the Agent Registry, and we'll show you some of that, but this is a brand new capability to be able to have a place where you can store everything about every agent without needing to get it an ENTRA ID necessarily. And by doing that, we've enabled a whole ecosystem of third-party partners who we work with to start building on top of this. So you'll see lots of neat agents from companies like Manus. You'll see integrations with ServiceNow and Workday, and you'll see a lot of really great security capabilities from our partners at companies like Sierra, Netscope, and Zscaler, all integrated in and supporting Agent ID and the registry specifically. So let's talk a little bit. I'll give you a little bit of detail now behind the main parts of Entra ID. We want to make sure, like I said, you can register and manage all of your agents. We want to give you full governance for those agents, and then the full protection stack for Agent ID as well. So we're going to start with register. And let me tell you a little bit about agents. So like I said, agents are a new type of identity. You will find them in the Agents tab in Agent ID as of this morning. Right? And you can go in and you can see all of your agents. They are OAuth 2 based agents, just like every other agent in the directory. They come built in to any agent created with Copilot Studio, Foundry, Security Copilot, all of those things. We also have a full agent developer kit as well. This is a container that if you're not using one of our builders, you can use it to build an agent. If you're using like LangGraph or something like that, you can just run the container and it will do all of the mid-tier opening, checking of tokens, acquiring tokens, checking tokens for you, making sure that they're valid, looking for claims on those tokens, all that kind of thing that you would want, all there ready for you to use as part of building agents. And agents can have many different kinds of permissions. You could have agents which have just simple permissions, like, hey, go schedule a meeting on behalf of me, and yes, you can use my permissions as a user to go do that. Right? But you can also have agents that are more like, you might think of it like a daemon process. Like this is an agent that can do things continually on its own behalf. So if you've used the conditional access optimizer agent in Entra, you've seen this, right? It's an agent that monitors all of your conditional access policies, recommends ways that you can optimize them, and then looks for new users and applications and devices coming into your tenant and helps you update your policies automatically to incorporate them. So that's kind of what we think of as the middle there, the do-it-for-me kind of agent. And then lastly, you can have full-blown agents that can even do things like comment in Word docs, reply to emails. You can add them to a Teams chat. They get the full collaboration experience. And so you could, as the developer or as the admin, you can pick anywhere along this spectrum you want to have your agent at to be able to follow a good least privilege model, give it only the things it needs, but also be able to give it full capabilities to do any of these things along these click stops that you need. Another key innovation you'll find live today is what we call an agent blueprint. This is to make your life as the IT admin or identity admin easy. A blueprint is like a template for an agent. It shows you kind of how to configure it, how it'll be governed, who owns it, all those kinds of things. And think of it like managing a class of agents. So if I've got a bunch of sales agents, my blueprint is the root of all of my sales agents. And it lets me approve, yes, we can have sales agents. I'm okay with those. And here's all the permissions they have and scopes they have and things like that. And then people in my company can go start spinning up sales agents. The nice thing about the blueprint is it means I only have to worry about managing that one thing, not every single agent. But it also means that if a class of agents goes bad, right, like they get attacked or they start exhibiting unusual behavior, I can turn off the blueprint and all of the agents of that class will be disabled. I don't have to go through and individually shut down agents. I can, of course, individually shut down agent IDs if I want to do that as well. But so blueprints really are a key concept that you'll want to take advantage of and get to know well, because that's the kind of the control point you use to govern what can come in and out of my tenant. And then each agent blueprint can have many, many agents spun up from it, like I was saying. And of course, that gives you a lot of control over individual agents at an agent identity level or at the agent blueprint level. Now, you've heard the quote, lots of us are using it, this 1.3 billion agents in 3 years from IDC. I don't know what the real number will be, but I know at Microsoft we're already seeing this unbelievable exponential growth. When I look into the Microsoft tenant, I see that there's over 100,000 agents registered already, and that number is growing like 4,000 to 5,000 a week. So there'll soon be more of them, more agents than there are humans at Microsoft pretty darn soon. So that's why we built the agent registry, is to give you a place to pull all of those agents together and get them organized. So the first thing you got to be able to do is discover agents. So find an agent and figure out, okay, does it have an agent ID or not? What should I know about it? What factory was it built in? Is it capable of doing things like A2A or MCP and stuff like that? That can all be registered and represented in the registry. Now the nice piece is that like I said, the Microsoft builder platforms do this discovery and register things in the registry for you. All of our security partners are also working with us so that when they detect agents, or when Defender, for instance, detects an agent, those will get automatically registered in the registry as well. So you'll have one place where what you might think of as endorsed agents and rogue or not endorsed agents will all be able to show up. And then you can start organizing them into what we call collections. A collection is basically a visibility boundary. So you might have a collection, every registry comes with two predefined collections, the global one and the quarantined one. The global collection is maybe where you would want to put agents that you want everyone in your company to be able to find. The quarantined one is where you would put all the agents that you're not sure about. You're not sure you want anybody to use them. You want to go check them out before they get a chance to be found. The registry is also the place where agents can find each other. So an agent will be able to find another agent that it wants to sub work out to using the registry. And all of this is controlled by our RBAC system. So by assigning a role or a set of attributes to an agent or a user, that dictates which set of collections they can access. And then, of course, you can add all your own custom collections as well. So maybe you have some agents that you want your sales teams to use, or you have some agents that you want for general productivity. You can build all your own custom collections and set whatever kinds of visibility, dynamic visibility characteristics you want for those. So now that I've talked too long, I'm losing my voice already. Let's go ahead and have Ehud and Sharon show us what we're doing here.
When I open the Agent ID overview in Entra Admin Center, I get an immediate snapshot of all the agents in my tenant and see which ones were created recently. This dashboard is my starting point for understanding agent activity and spotting early signs of agent sprawl. As an identity administrator, having this visibility means I can act quickly if the number of agents starts to grow unexpectedly. It's the foundation for keeping Xava secure and compliant, and most importantly, for keeping my job.
Now, I've recently been hired as the HR management at Xava. Don't worry, Alex, I will be back at Microsoft.
Oh, good.
My crew's been having a blast with AI. They've created 2 agents using Microsoft Foundry and Copilot Studio, and it's really transforming how we do HR. We have the HR self-service agent, that's your new best friend for onboarding. And then we have the HR actions agent, who's got your back during performance reviews. And they'll be supporting our HR workflows. Now, building them was the easy bit. The real trick is making sure that everyone can find them. Ehud, I want to ensure they are discoverable, they have the right access, especially to sensitive HR data and resources. Can you check to see if our current access fully supports this, or if we need to tighten things up?
Sure, Sharon, I will get right on it. Oh boy, I don't want to get in trouble with HR, not again. Let's go to the agent registry, where I get visibility of all agents in the tenant and what platform they were built on. I notice a mix of agents, some with Agent ID, some without. I see some agent built on Copilot. Sorry, it's not advancing. Okay, I see some agent built on Copilot Studio, some on Azure Foundry. Sorry.
The demo is acting up.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, it's acting up. Just a second. Let me set up.
Demos can sense fear. You guys all know that.
Yeah. It is not loading now. Okay. I'm back.
There we go.
Hey.
Okay.
Sorry, just restarting. Okay. Sorry. Back.
There we go.
on.
That's cool. Yeah.
Yeah, good.
So it's acting up still. It's still, okay. I can quickly.
There we go.
Okay.
Let's talk about the agent registry here real quick.
Yeah.
So I love this column down the middle there that's showing us all of the different platforms that were used, including a bunch that are not Microsoft. Right? Like, I think that's the coolest thing about the registry is now I can see stuff that's from Microsoft and stuff that's from other partners as well.
Yeah. Thank you. And I can quickly narrow my focus to the agent that matter most right now. Now, for example, since Sharon raised concerns about the 2 HR agents, let's have a look at them. I start with the HR self-service agent to see the details. I can see the agent status, it's active. I can see it as sponsors. I can see the permissions and roles, and also associated policies. Everything is looking good so far. After reviewing the agent details and permission, the next important step is to ensure that agent creation remains controlled and aligned with organizational policy. This is where agent blueprints comes to play. I reviewed the agent blueprint to ensure no new associated identities are being created unexpectedly. Blueprint act as template for how agent identities are created, so checking them helps maintain control. I've noticed that the HR self-service blueprint has one associated agent identity. Alex, anything else on blueprints?
Well, I think the key thing on a blueprint, right, is like we were saying, it's the place that you've got all of your control, right? You want to be able to approve the blueprint in one place, and then we're continuing to do a bunch of work to make sure that as you do work here, that as we do work here, more and more value accumulates in terms of things that can be automatically stamped onto the agent, including things even like security descriptors.
Excellent. Now, let's look at the HR Actions agent to verify its agent blueprint. So I'm selecting this agent, and let's look at its blueprint. This one appears to have 3 associated agent identities. Interesting. What is test HR 123 doing here? Seems like it was created for testing purposes. What permissions and roles does it have? Oh my, application read-write all. This is overprivileged access.
Oh.
Sharon, are you trying to get me fired?
No.
Let's get rid of that one. Yeah.
I'm just testing your survival skills. I'm pretty sure you said you were a fan of Survivor.
Not anymore. Now, to prevent any risk or unintended exposure, I am going to disable this agent. This action blocks the agent supporting security and preventing unauthorized access. Over to you, Alex.
Awesome. Thanks, Ehud. So what we just showed you was the new agent registry and agent IDs. So you can ensure that you can see all of your agents across your enterprise, and you can make sure that you can monitor all of your agents with agent IDs and see what the heck they're doing and all of their permissions. And then over time, this becomes also the place where you'll see agents discovering other agents in nice, secure patterns. We're really excited about the work that we're doing here, both at identity level and at the registry level. Hopefully you'll find it super valuable. Next, I want to talk to you about governance. I think governance is probably the most important thing to think through from an agent standpoint, because agents are not going to be pets. They're not going to be the kind of thing where you can invest a ton of time in caring for and making sure that an agent is doing the right thing. They're going to be more like a school of fish. You're going to have an automated set of processes where you can manage flows and the direction things are going and making sure you're letting them do the things that they're supposed to do, but not have to spend a whole bunch of time worrying about an individual agent. And that means you need a highly automated lifecycle workflow for agents. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of the really cool capabilities we've built into Entra ID governance to enable you to govern agent identities.
Going back to the overview page, I noticed some agent without assigned sponsors. As an identity admin, I've already set up a lifecycle workflow automation for sponsors of AI agent. Let's take a look. So I'm going to identity governance. I'm going to choose the lifecycle workflow and look at the workflow that I have. And I created something with the name sponsor, right? So sponsor for AI agent. And let's look at the task. Now, this workflow triggers notification to managers and co-sponsors whenever an employee who is a sponsor leaves or changes roles. This is necessary because every agent requires a sponsor. Alex, I just heard Alice from HR has left Zava. Are you concerned about the agent she's sponsoring?
Well, I would be, right? You got to make sure that you know who the humans are who are responsible for all your agents. But I know because of the work we've done at identity governance, you're going to show us how to address that.
Oh, I just received a notification that Alice has left Zava. and I'm the new sponsor of the HR Agents. Now, that's a pretty fancy title.
Congrats.
Oh, thanks, Ehud. Now, as a sponsor, I can jump into the new Manage Agent experience in My Access. Now, as you can see, every agent identity I'm responsible for reports into me. Well, metaphorically, of course. So let me find my agent. There it is. And so when I click on the HR Actions agent, I can see all of the sponsors, owners, check out the permissions, role assignments, and the resources they've got access to. But now that I can see all my agents, my next question is, Ehud, how do we make sure they get access safely and consistently?
Okay, great question. Now, I already anticipated this. It's not going to be the last time I'm going to hear from Sharon about more HR agents coming in. So I designed an access package to ensure they all receive the same permissions without any lingering access. Access package is an Entra identity governance feature for bundling permissions, roles, resource access, and group membership into a single access decision. Let's take a look. So I'm going again to identity governance, entitlement management, access packages, and here is a access package that already set up. You can see here I can give access to teams, groups, application, SharePoint, Entra roles, and a new addition, API permission. Who knew API permission could be so exciting? Now, not only that, as you can see here, I have quite a few API permissions that the HR agent required. Next, I will define who can request access within Zava. I've enabled admins, sponsors, and even the agent himself to request access. I've also heard Entra will have further custom security attribute automation with A365. Alex, can you confirm that?
Yes, in fact, we're working with the A365 team right now that every time you approve an agent in A365, it'll automatically, as part of the template, apply the correct access package for that agent.
Excellent. I outlined the approval process, specifying who can approve access request and set an expiration so that assignment automatically ends after 365 days unless renewed. Hey, Sharon, do you want to give it a try?
Yeah, sure. Let me go and submit an access request on behalf of the agent. So that's making sure that every assignment is deliberate, audible, and it has time-bound access. So I'm going to access the package that Ehud had mentioned and select the sponsor-initiated agent access. From there, I want to request an access package for sponsored agents. So let's go ahead and pick HR Action Agent. And I'm going to need to add a business justification. And then I'm going to submit the request. Fabulous. Ehud, I just submitted the request. Can you please fast track it? Don't worry, I'll submit the service request.
Another service request. Sure, just add it to the pile on the right. Let's have a look at the request that I have. Oh, I see the request from Sharon. She's using the access package that I just configured. And she's asking access for the HR Actions agent. So far, everything looks good. Let's see if there is any business justification, time-bound access for HR. That's not giving me a lot of information. Sharon, you know what? I'm having a good day, so I'm going to approve it. Alex, are you also having a good day?
Well, I was having a great day until you approved that. But yes, I'm having a great day because I love how much cool, innovative stuff we've got to show for customers. Let's keep rolling. The last thing, first of all, let me just tell you what we talked about. So one of the key things as you're thinking about agents, we've got to make sure that they always have a sponsor. Who is the human in your company who you can contact to find out about what the heck this agent is doing at the moment, and does it still need to have the things that, should it still be alive, and does it still need to have the things it's doing? Really important to keep that up to date in an automated manner. That's what we were just showing you. You really also want to think about an end-to-end managed lifecycle for your agents when they're created. Which things do they get by default? How often do you have to reattest that they should have that kind of access? and how are you going to automatically deactivate them. The last thing you want is a whole bunch of old agents floating around in your Entra directory with permissions and credentials to go do things across your enterprise. You want to make sure that you automate the deactivation maybe more than anything else. And then finally, you want to make sure that you are thinking about how are you going to use access packages to enable least privilege at scale, right? Like let's give agents the smallest number of things we possibly can for them to be able to get their job done and not let them have any more permissions than they absolutely need. So with that, let's move on to the last thing. We're going to talk about protection. My favorite feature of Entra, of course. I think the thing that makes it unique, and I think of it as the secret sauce, is conditional access. The ability for you to create all of your access policies and have them enforced in real time, enriched with the risk scores from our machine learning engine. So what have we done? Of course, we have added agents into this. You can now target agents as both an actor, and you can target agents as a resource. So you can set policies on which agents can get to what kinds of resources under what conditions. And you can also set policies on which users or workloads or agents can get to other agents under what conditions according to what policies. So for instance, you might have a policy for an AI agent that looks at its identity protection scores. Maybe it's coming from an unfamiliar place. That would be weird. Or maybe it's trying to select, it's asking for way more tokens than it usually does. Or maybe it looks like it's risky or being accessed by a risky user. Those might all be things that in your policy you would want to block. But in addition, and this is important, we are giving you the ability to use the custom security attributes to select sets of agents that you want to apply policy to. And this is both for agents as the actor on the left and as the resource on the right. And we think this is the key to being able to run a scalable model for your agents, is rather than setting policies based on individual agents and things like that, just tag the agents with the right CSA attributes, and then you know which set of policies will apply to them. The same way you can use CSA policies to apply to, or you can use CSAs to apply to applications today. Right, so this is really the model we're betting on going forward for agents, is to make sure that custom security attributes let you tag the agent, what kind of agent is it, and what kinds of things should it be able to do, and then let our whole system enforce based on those tags. So let's go ahead, take a look at that.
Okay, so my goals are simple. I want to ensure we're secure while ensuring productivity, and only approved HR agents get access, nothing more. Now, it's all about striking the balance, so it's between getting work done and keeping the organization secure. Ehud, can you show us how we're making sure that our agents have exactly the access they need?
Sure, Sharon. It would be my pleasure. Just don't forget to put this on my next performance review. I created a conditional access policy restricting access to HR applications and API to only allow HR-approved agent using custom security attributes. Conditional access policies using custom security attributes allow me to scale policies as new agents come in and out without having to touch the conditional access policy every time. Let's have a look. So here you can see the CA policy. I basically set a CA policy to block all agents other than agent marked as HR approved, and the resources are also tagged with custom security attributes of HR. Effectively, if you're not an HR approved agent, you will not get access to HR resources. So I'm good there. Now, since I reviewed the HR self-service agent earlier, I'm ready to approve it. So let's go and assign a custom security attribute saying it is HR approved. Now it will have access to HR resources. Alex, how cool is that? We can use conditional access with custom security attributes.
Yeah, I'm really excited about this. I think this is the way that customers are going to be able to manage gigantic swarms of agents and know that they're secure and well governed.
Excellent. Next, let's explore conditional access policies targeting agents. I have quite a few. What I don't see is a policy for blocking high-risk agent. Now, since agent can become attack vectors if left unchecked, I aim to safeguard Java from potentially rogue or high-risk agent. To address this, I'm going to create a risk-based conditional access policy specifically for risky agents. Let's go and see how we could do that. So we're going to make the screen space larger, zoom in a bit, and we're going to start by naming the policy. So let's call it block high-risk agents. We are going to select agent, all agents, and then we are going to target every resource. Because effectively, if an agent is risky, it has no business accessing 𝗲𝗲 resources. So conditions, let's go, and we're going to set the high-risk agent as the condition. And this is important part because this is where identity protection meets conditional access. Identity protection further enhances security by monitoring suspicious activity that could be an indicator of a compromise, such as sign-in spikes or failures, abnormal access to sensitive resources, or sign-in linked to risky users. So now that I've set the policy, let's just make sure that it is indeed blocking. I'm going to block and zoom out again. And before I forget, I don't want to report only. I want to actually have it on. So report only, by the way, nice feature that allows you to test the policy before you activate. Now that I've created a risk-based conditional access policy for agent, I don't need to worry about risky agent accessing 𝗲𝗲 resources while I'm on vacation. I will see you in 2 weeks. Don't worry, Sharon. I will submit a service request, or should I say vacation request.
Hey, enjoy your vacation.
Yeah.
2 weeks later.
Okay, I'm back.
Hey, welcome back. So I hope you had a great vacation. I've received a
great one.
ping. Yeah, I've received a ping that agent's not working. So what's happening? Should I be concerned?
Can I finish my morning coffee?
No, no.
Okay, let's go back to work. Okay, so let's see if identity protection flagged any risk. So I'm going to identity protection. Let's have a look at the dashboard. And I see a few agents marked as risky. Let's go dig further. HR service agent is marked as high risk. Let's see why. Oh, it tried accessing new resources. Sharon, is this supposed to happen?
Let me go and check with my folks and I'll get back to you.
Well, thank you, risk-based conditional access, for saving 𝗲𝗲 yet again.
And I've got some good news, folks. We'll create this as a Microsoft managed risk policy on your behalf. So keep an eye out for a communication. It'll be on its way soon.
Now that's HR approved. Back to you, Alex.
I hope I don't get in trouble with HR. So again, taking the concepts of Entra and giving you all the protections you're used to for agents. So in this case, we showed you how we can use conditional access to protect agents both as the actor and as the resource. And then also how identity protection is now working with agent IDs and flagging high-risk identities, identifying those using our machine learning system. And then you can use that to automatically block high-risk agents and keep them from being able to access any of your corporate resources. So 3 main things that Entra ID for agents can do for you. Help you register all your agents and keep track of them in one place. Make sure that you have full automated lifecycle management for all those agents, that they always have a sponsor, that you can deactivate them and keep them in a least privileged state. And then finally, that you can protect them, monitor all of their behaviors, make sure that in conditional access, they can only get to the things that they should, and monitor and automatically shut off their access if their risk level goes high. So hopefully that gives you some of the tools that you need to join me surfing the AI wave. Right? We're really excited about the work here. All of the things we showed you today are available in public preview. I hope you'll go in and take a look through, start experimenting, seeing what you can do with the builders, feeding into Entra ID, and then giving full visibility and the ability to see all of your agents and the things they're doing and control them. This is all part of the Agent 365 that you saw Charles talk about this morning. So Entra is one of the components, lots of other cool things. I hope you will learn about some of the neat work other teams have done for agents there. If you want to turn on the public preview, or I guess we're calling it the early access of Microsoft Agent 365, just go to this link down here at the bottom. Make your tenant into a Frontier tenant, and all the rest of it will just light up for you. That'll get you all the licenses and things you need to get started. I also, if you're a partner, I want to encourage you to get engaged and help grow the ecosystem. We have a lovely set of partners today who I'm really thankful got in so early and made such big bets. I really want to thank them for their energy and investments. They have helped us make sure the platform is ready on day one. But if you're a partner and you're not engaged yet, please get engaged. We'd love to have you join the party. And then lastly, getting started with ENTRA Agent ID. If you scan the code here, that'll get you the QR code here, that'll get you all the information that you need. And then Sharon and Ehud are going to host an Ask Me Anything session tomorrow at 2:45 in Moscow South. They know a ton about the platform and all of the automation, protection, and security capabilities we just showed you. Hopefully you'll show up and drill them on it. And then, of course, come meet us at the booth. Thank you all a ton. Please fill in the survey and look forward to seeing what you build with Agent ID.